Hello, so what I will be showing you today is Kahoot. Kahoot is a multiple choice assessment or review tool that you can use within your classrooms. Kahoot is a game. It needs to be projected onto a smart board or overhead of some way, shape, or form, and students will need devices. Kahoot allows for each student to have their own device, or you could possibly create teams and let a team of students use one device for answering the question, but it is something that the students will need a device for. From the teacher's perspective, you need to create an account. Students will not need to create an account in order to play, but teachers just need to go and create an account using Google, Gmail, whatever it is that they use to create an account. When you do that, it takes you to this page, and from here it's very simple. In the top right corner, you have a create button where you can create your new content. You have quiz, jumble, discussion, and survey. Quiz is really the standard pretty much for Kahoot. What quiz is it's basically just the students get multiple choice questions and they just need to choose what is the correct answer. That's typically what I do in my classroom, since most of, if not all, the assessments the students take throughout the course of the school year are multiple choice questions. Um, in addition to the teacher being able to create content, they can find Kahoots that are already made by other teachers about any other content. So if you're looking to review something in your classroom, you could just search for it in Kahoot. You could find it, and then you can then play the game for your students. In addition to that, teachers can then duplicate it, and then it would add it to their Kahoot list. And from that, then they can kind of edit questions, maybe take away questions or add more questions to make that Kahoot 100% perfect for what they're trying to study in their classroom. So a couple things that you need to know going into Kahoot is that there are some limitations that you can have. As I said, it's limited pretty much to the multiple choice questions, since quiz will be the primary way that teachers use it in their classroom. There's also a character limit. When you go to create a Kahoot, you're limited to the number of characters that you can have in a question or an answer. You can even see in the titles and the description that there is a character limit that pops up. And that can be very, very bothering going forward. So you type in your question, you have 95 characters for your question. For each answer option, you have 60 characters, which for social studies sometimes is very difficult to try and trim things down to make it in only 60 characters, or make a question only 90 characters or 95 characters. But if you could do that, then it's very valuable for you. Once you have your Kahoot, it's really easy to save it, you could share it. You can make it so that nobody can see it. You can make it so that it's public and other teachers can search for it. I know at my school, the other teachers who teach 8th grade social studies with me, we all create one and then we share it. So basically, I make one out of every 4, since there's 4 of us that teach 8th grade social studies, and it really does help reduce the workload. How I use Kahoot in my class is when I'm finishing content, or at the end of a class, I'll use it as an exit slip. This is a quick way for me to make sure students understand the information. It also, to me, provides the students with like a refresher to make sure that they know themselves whether or not they know the information. Typically, my Kahoots don't have a lot of questions on it. This is one of the longer ones, and it has 15 questions on it. They do move pretty quickly. Each question, as you can see, is only displayed for a maximum of 20 seconds. If all the students answer before the 20 seconds is up, then it kind of moves on to the next question. Some of the features that I do like with Kahoot is once you hit play, then the teachers have options to have the game move at its own pace. It has the option for the students to be able to create their own username, to randomize order of questions or order of answers. And my favorite is it allows the teacher to automatically move through questions. Usually that's a feature I have disabled on Kahoot, mostly so that if I find that there's a question that a lot of the students are getting wrong, I can stop it at that point so that I can go over everything, maybe brush up on the information that might have been confusing, or just simply reteach that information to the class before they move on to any other questions. So that is something that's very valuable to my students. Students can be engaged in this because of the gaming aspect of it. As I said, when the teachers create the game, the students can receive points for how quickly they're answering, how correct they're answering, and then there's an option for streak bonuses. So if students get 2, 3, 4, 5 questions correct in a row, then they actually get additional points on top of that. So that's very beneficial for some of those students. Lastly, like I said, this is to summarize Kahoot. It is a way to assess content through multiple choice questions primarily. If you want to try out some of those other options for creating a Kahoot, such as the jumble or the discussion or survey, you can. However, you'll find that most of the teachers that use Kahoot pretty much use it for the quiz feature. In conclusion, I think it's a really great tool if it's used in the correct circumstance. I also use Quizzes, which is very similar to Kahoot, and I'll probably be using Quizzes in my next instructional tutorial, because there are some benefits to using Quizzes over Kahoot, but Kahoot has its benefits as well. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.